All right, welcome back to the show. My name is Kwesi, a son, Baako, and here is the Editorial. I come in peace. I come not to please. For today's consideration, and for today's consideration, it's quite a mouthful for the title. Please bear with me. Today's consideration: a buffet of errors and blunders served on a platter of lies and nonsense. I'll repeat that. A buffet of errors and blunders served on a platter of lies and nonsense. And what am I talking about? Just a couple of days ago, the New Patriotic Party, or some elements within that, because I believe there are way smarter people in that party than the bunch of friends who showed up for that useless protest. I'm not mincing words. Useless protest. What do I mean? First of all, let me clear the air before anybody misquotes what I'm saying. Protesting is anybody's right. It is a natural right for every citizen, right? And in a place like America, and I don't want to make it like that's the standard for us to copy. If it's wrong, it's wrong. If it's right, it's right. If it doesn't work for us, it doesn't, right? But these days, I hear people waxing lyrical about how you can't insult the president and whatnot. I do agree it's unethical to insult the president. But I ask a question. If I think the president is a moron, do I have the right to say that he's a moron? I think I do. It's just how I say it and whether or not that contributes to some other aspect. Like, for instance, is my calling the president a moron something that affects national security? Something along those lines, right? You know how many times the president of this country here in the United States gets called a moron? You have no idea. And worse things, by the way. All I'm saying is that there's some type of clarity that we should have our voice as a people. We should be able to protest. We should be able to speak up. If you have a president who is not living up to that basic of a human being, I think we should be able to freely say so without any police or anybody harassing us. I think so. Because what's going to happen is that we will use John Mahama as a standard to create a certain gorgon, which will be difficult for us to work with later on. Let's say we are not allowed to tell the president that he's a moron when he's a moron. And then later on, we have a president who actually is a moron. How do we tell the president he's a moron at that time? So let's not create laws out of emotions, right? You cannot threaten the president. You cannot speak fallaciously, you cannot speak in a certain way against the president and certain leadership. But we should be able to say certain things to our president, including the right to protest, even if the protest makes no sense. And that's why I don't have any problem with the NPP protesting like they did. My problem, however, is with a few things with that. Let's start with this. First of all, the NPP needs a branding expert. I heard that during the elections, they went to go bring some expert from South Africa or something like that. Either those people are useless, or maybe they are no longer handling the NPP. Because first of all, whatever strategy they brought could not win them the election. They lost historically. So I don't know what worth this branding agency is or has. And then on top of that, after the party loses, they seem to be adding blunder on top of error. Let's talk about the protest. First of all, what a choice of day. What tone-deaf choice of day. And Afenyo-Markin leads a group of people to the government, to the presidency, on a day when the entire nation is mourning fallen heroes. That's tone deafness. And anybody who calls himself a leader who led that does not deserve to lead a group of people. Afenyo-Markin, I've said before, is an apology of a leader. This is somebody who thinks that he is special from other people. Do you remember when Afenyo-Markin said we should build a special hospital for just parliamentarians and members of government? Do you remember that? He thinks he deserves that. He thinks your tax money is meant to build a special hospital for him. When they went over there to go meet the president, to go present the petition, and what's her name? Nana Yajantua was asked to come and receive the petition. Did you see the body language? Oh, I am here. I am the leader of the... So who gives a flying fuck who you are? Who does? We don't. Afenyo-Markin, first of all, you will not be where you are if we gave a flying toss about you. You would still be in government if we did. Currently, all we are waiting for is for the NPP to come to their senses and sweep people like you away from governance so that we can have some common sense people. Why do we have another? I was going to say another pray. Really? Why do we have certain people like, I don't even want to mention names because it's not like I'm campaigning for anybody, but there's some very, very, very smart people in the NPP. Paula Foko needs to come back to help govern the NPP. He's going to bring some common sense to the NPP. And Afenyo-Markin, we all know how you ended up as the minority leader, the majority leader at the time, right? Why Oseche Mensah was put aside and all that. South strategy did not work. So why are you even still there? Why don't they shuffle this guy aside and put a common sense person there? Why do you go to protest on a day when we are mourning, falling children? Don't call them heroes. Maybe to you, they're not even heroes, right? But these are people who are Ghanaians. It was a national tragedy. And on the day of the national tragedy, that's when you decide to go on with your bullshit, you can't say protest. And is democracy really under attack? Let's look at that. Let's look at that. What are the indices that make up what you would call democracy? Let's look at the media. Let's look at press index, the press freedom index, right? Under Nana Akufo-Addo, where were we? Ghana was way somewhere. They were in the reds. Today, as we speak, within 1.5 years, Ghana has... Check this out properly, people. And I don't have too much time on the editorial, so I'm not going to show any videos. If you're interested, go check it for yourself. Reporters Without Borders, Reporters Sans Frontières, go check their statistics. When John Mahama was president, before he left, and then look at the time in between that till now, and then look at 2015 till now again. We return to that period again, meaning that there's a certain standard which John Mahama is working with, which obviously we did not enjoy under Akufo-Addo. How do you even come and tell us that democracy is under any form of attack when under Nana Akufo-Addo, your own party chairman, who had been Ouster's brother, Gregory Afoko, was locked up for 8 years? The man was freed by the court, bailed, I should say, by the court, order from above. He ended up back in jail for 8 years. That was not democracy under attack. People who went out on a demonstration, the same type of demonstration you guys went on, to go and complain that our water bodies should be kept clean, demonstrating against Galamsey. What happened? They got arrested and got locked up. Was democracy being fanned with... Was democracy put on a stool and was being yored up? Was democracy enjoying at the time? When Ahmed Swale was shot, that's too cliche. I don't even want to go there. When Manasseh Azure Awuni had to flee the country for dear life. The same Manasseh Azure who brought that issue about their confirm that apparently helped to oust John Mahama. And so John Mahama went to his book launch. When Nana Addo came to power, had to flee for his life. Black Rasta had a gunman enter his studio with... The guy had to be shot. Do we remember all these things? Was democracy under attack at the time? Really? Really? A pregnant judge was dragged out of court by NPP operatives and beaten up, and the case that she was sitting on, nobody knows what happened to it. What happened? Kennedy Japan pulled up money to go bill the people who did that. Was democracy under attack? Are you joking, or what's wrong with you people? Don't come disturb us, cry. Don't come and disturb us, cry. If you want to demonstrate, feel free, demonstrate. There are some demonstrations I will join you on. For instance, if you want to demonstrate between fufu and kenke, which one tastes better, I will join the demonstration in favor of fufu any day. That's also my right, Abi. I can match up to the to the presidency right there and say, hey, President, Mr. Fatin say everybody should have free kelewele every day. It's my right to do that. So that's the level at which we will put this demonstration will just happen. It is base, it's crass, it was unnecessary, it was ill-timed, it was tone deaf, it was out of place. And Afenyo-Markin needs to be ashamed of himself, going up there trying to be like, say, he's somebody. Your days are numbered, bro, as a minority leader. And let me clarify that before somebody says I'm threatening him or something. Your days are not numbered as a human being. I'm not God. I don't know anything about what's going to happen the next second. But I know from instinct that your days as minority leader is numbered. And we know that you're trying way too hard to try to please Bawumia. But I think Bawumia has his team already. I think those times when he made up his mind that you were not part of his team, how come all the parliamentarians went to his house and you had to chase after them to go there? That's a sign, that's a signal, that's a symbol. And while we are at it, while we are talking about branding, whoever advised these people to go wear that red and white cap that looks like the Make America Great Again thing, bro, listen, you need a brand strategist. Because that thing alone made you look stupid as all anything. That red and white thing, you know, it maybe you didn't, maybe it's an accident, but it kind of just generates that idea. Like say you are trying to identify with the MAGA movement in America. That is so ill-advised. It's very ill-advised. So NPP, please, if you want your party to survive, which I want it to, because we need strong opposition in the country, if you want your party to survive, which I want it to, because I believe the NPP still has some really good people in there who may never join the NDC or any other party for any reason, but who still have a lot to offer Ghana. So we need to be able to tap into the Kwame Pianims of today. We need to be able to tap into the Nyahotamaklos of today. How come a party with all these people are suffering such a crisis of functionality? How come a party which boasts Kwame Pianim, Nyahotamaklo? Help me, people. Put some in the chat for me or something. The NPP has all these material and still struggles. Well, yes, indeed. I mean, yeah, certain people feel like he's making all that noise because he feels like the judgment is coming to him, so he needs to like make all that noise. That's not what matter. The judges will decide. If he has done anything wrong, they'll put him before a court. I will not be out there demonstrating uselessly for him at all. And like I'm saying, I don't know why a political party would say, oh yeah, we're going to go take over the case of somebody who has obviously been charged with something that is of such magnitude. Anyhow, I'll leave that here. I just want to drive home the point that that demonstration was useless. It was ill-timed. It was ill-fated. It was not well thought out, and it doesn't represent how Ghanaians feel at all. Ghanaians don't think democracy is under attack. On the contrary, Ghanaians are beginning to feel like that animal that we call democracy possibly could work, because it's possible to get some people like Chairman Muntumi and put them in jail if they do wrong. it's possible to set up a system which actually calls people to order. And I can't wait to see the biggest of them all called to answer why there's a big gaping pit in Accra filled with mosquito infested water in a place where homes for judges used to be. My name is Kwesi, a son, Baako. I come in peace. I never come to please. Studio 2, get ready to take over after this break. Thank you very much for staying with me. I'll see you next week, God willing, for another episode. Studio 2 takes over from here after this break. One love. Blood of the slain. No. We don't want to see no more people dying. Zayana Yahweh. Zayana Yahweh. Zayana way. Zayana Yahweh. Yo, listen, man. My name is beloved. You can call me Kwesi Baako when the occasion calls for it. You are watching iCulture TV. Keep it locked. iCulture TV. Africa from